This is Selling Susquehanna with Lise Barrick, your guide to the heart of Pennsylvania real estate.
Hey, welcome back. Selling Susquehanna with Lise Barrick. My name is Chad Evans inside the Stone State studio. Lise, you look lovely today.
Oh, gee, thank you.
You are in full fall spirit.
Yeah, sort of. Trying.
How's
So chilly. It's dark now. That is not my jam.
You don't like the time change?
I do not like it. Do not like it.
No. Okay, so we have just December yet, and we're off to a brand new year. How's your fourth quarter? How's the fourth quarter?
How's my fourth
How's
quarter?
your fourth quarter? It's fourth quarter time.
Yeah, but we're gearing up. Yeah.
Really?
It's slow. It's slow right now. Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why it's slow right now.
Yes. And I think we're going to cover a little bit about that with some of the questions.
Probably, because everybody wants to know, if you're listening to the media, reading social media, news, whatever, government shutdown.
Right.
Everybody's nervous.
People, it seems like every year at this time, people are always nervous about the new year coming up.
Absolutely.
And why?
Yeah.
Like this, but nothing really changes.
Right,
Lisa.
you're exactly right.
Nothing changes.
Right. But it is, for some reason, there's this like perception that it's January 1st, you're starting all over.
Yeah.
And you're really not. You're right. It just transitions into the next, the rest of the year, you're not like, oh, it's April, we're starting all over, I mean, it's just, yeah, but you do, and I do the same thing.
Yeah,
I think how's this year going to be? How's
first
my
quarter
production
jitters.
going to be? What can I budget
right.
out? Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it is. I think it is. It's kind of like the Monday scaries or Sunday scaries or whatever they call it. When you're going into the next work week, all of a sudden people are in a panic. And I'm like,
do you have the Sunday?
Another week.
Do you have the Sunday scaries? I don't. I work for myself, and I really enjoy what I do.
Same.
But you don't.
No, I don't.
You might be apprehensive about something.
No, you know what I get is the Sunday irritation. Because, like clockwork, like to me, Sundays are, well, they're sacred, literally and figuratively. It's always been, throughout my career, it's always been the one day that I really try to like spend at home, spend with family and loved ones and all that. Plus, I don't know, get my own house in order, maybe do my laundry,
Netflix
maybe
and chill.
Well, in the evening. So, I try to do, church in the morning and then, everything, all these other things I try to scramble and get done in one day.
Yeah.
When everybody's been doing I shouldn't say that. What many people get to do all week long, I'm trying to do in one day. So, and I just kind of like, sometimes I do take appointments if I have to.
Yeah.
But I try not to. I probably knock out some paperwork in preparation for the next day, that kind of thing. But by like 6 o'clock, I want to be hanging out with my significant other, relaxing, having our one nice dinner of the week, the one dinner I cook of the week, watching Netflix, doing whatever, and inevitably, boom, my phone is blowing up because everybody else is like, oh, well, I want to schedule to see those houses this week.
Now they can catch up.
I have questions for tomorrow because they know they're heading into work and they're not going to be able to talk to me until a certain time on there, depending what kind of job they have and what kind of flexibility they have. So all of a sudden they're all contacting me and I'm like, oh, this is my one night. This is my one night to just be home and just have some like quiet time, and
Not that I'm
connect.
complaining about my schedule, but my emails come in at between 4 and 5 every day.
Yeah. I think it's when people are starting to get off of work.
Well, they got
assuming you work that kind of shift, but that's when, because like Friday at 5 o'clock, like I might be like, I am all clear. I actually have like the evening free, or I have Saturday morning free, and boom, everybody gets off of work. And now, on the other hand, I'm not entirely complaining because I depend on all that in order to make a living.
It's good to
It would
be
just
wanted.
be nice. It would just be nice to have a little bit more notice, or to maybe like if those people on Sunday want to start, planning some things for the week, like maybe contact me a little earlier in the day, like,
Yeah.
give me a break in the
If you
evening.
can. If at all possible.
If at all
You can
possible.
accommodate when you can.
I would appreciate
when
it.
you can.
Yeah.
You can accommodate.
Yeah. And I try, people say, coaches say, all that kind of thing, like, put your phone away.
Work-life balance.
Ignore your phone, blah, blah, blah. Well, in real estate, you can't always do that. Sometimes you really need to take those calls or return those calls.
It's a fast-paced world.
Even if, and this is my own problem, and I've always been this way.
Spill the beans.
I keep trying to get better, but I'm still not good at it. Even if I say to myself, I'm not returning a call, a text, an email unless it's actually important and they need to hear from me this evening. And the majority of the time, they don't. But it nags at me. It's in my head. So if I'm sitting trying to watch a show, whatever, it's like I'm half paying attention to the show.
Yeah.
Or I'm half paying attention to the conversation with the person with me because it's in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Like,
that
person wants to hear from me. They're sitting there waiting, and they're used to hearing from me right away, So
I'm going to go on record to say my New Year's resolution
Yeah.
is pumping the brakes.
yeah.
This year, for
yeah.
some reason, it all came to a head in terms of like I've never been busier in my life.
Which is good.
Again, awesome.
Yeah, but it's the balance.
Oh, well, it's
Which
the
is very
it's
hard.
the attempt at balance.
Yeah.
That's what it is for
Yeah.
me. And
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
there will be times if someone wants a video production or they want to shoot,
Yeah.
sometimes it'd be the next day. And then I'd actually get it done that day.
I can imagine how you scramble for that.
So
I don't know.
because, $20 is $20. I was that kind of guy. But
right. Yeah.
in 2026, I'm pumping the brakes where I'm like, we'll schedule this in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. And just rely and on the revenue that's generated. So
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to say no because you're a motivated person.
because it feels like you turn off the faucet. It feels like you're turning off the faucet.
Absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
a scary
And how
thing.
many years did you work to cultivate that?
8
Yeah.
nonstop.
Yeah.
And I'm tired. I'm tired, Lisa.
The one thing I can say, and I wish I'd done more of this when my kids were young, and they'll be happy to tell me that they wish I had done this when they were young, is you still have young kids at home. So if you can do that, I mean, I would highly encourage it. Sometimes it's easier said than done because those bills keep showing up at your house,
and
they
also,
need stuff, and
Yeah.
now they want to take guitar lessons, horseback riding lessons,
which is great.
whatever, go to on the class trip and blah blah blah. Travel soccer or whatever it is, all those things, and you're like, well, then I got to work more.
And the thing of it is too, like I really enjoy it.
It's
a lot of fun for me,
yeah,
but like my body is now kind of telling me, being like, dude, it ain't worth it. So sorry.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No, I get.
I love my
I
clients.
get it. It's so hard. When you're running your own business, and when you've spent this many years building your business, building your brand, cultivating it, and then all of a sudden you're so overwhelmed, and you've hired people. It's not like you don't have people who work with you.
Yeah.
But and then all of a sudden you're like, where'd my life go?
Yeah, exactly. And so,
It's hard.
and I say that
hard.
I'm pumping the
Yeah.
brakes because I'm doing a new venture.
Oh, right.
I'm doing
right,
something
right,
else.
Right,
that
right.
I'll tell you about.
I know some of it,
Yeah.
I think.
I think you do
but,
too,
yeah.
and I can't wait to see you
I'll
swing
keep
a
it
golf
secret.
club.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had some submissions of questions here through social media platforms.
Yeah. Yep.
Again, any viewer, any listener out there, we invite you to submit questions to Lisa. She knows what she's talking about for the most part. She's happy to answer any question.
If not, I'll make it up. No, I will never make something up.
She's happy to answer any question that you might have regarding real estate. Okay. So the first question from an anonymous viewer says, and here we go. We're talking about it already. The news feeds are buzzing with pundits talking about mortgage rate drops.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Government shutdowns, investment returns, and all sorts of the noise out there.
Yes.
The question goes on to say, but what we hear from Washington, D.C. or New York doesn't always reflect what's happening here in central Susquehanna Valley.
Correct.
What are you seeing in this local market right now that has to deal with like mortgage rates and everything? What do you see?
Yeah. So there's
Nothing's
a lot. There's a lot. And let me just put out the disclaimer that I do not purport myself to be any kind of investment expert,
No financial advisor over there.
prognosticator, an analyzer, whatever
Analytical
they are, whatever
person.
they are, that kind of thing. That's, I'm not an expert, so I'll never say I will. So I know just enough. There are things right now that actually are directly affecting our economy right here at home. For instance, this government shutdown. The federal government is a major employer in our area.
Big time.
With all the prison systems, and even there's FBI in this area. There's, there are government agencies in this area. There's what army bases or, that kind of thing. There's different things like that. So it's a problem. I mean, people aren't getting paid. And, and then there's also entities that depend on some government, whether it's, I don't know, that's subsidies, but however, farmers, we have a huge agricultural community. Now, not all of it is necessarily beholden to the federal government, but some of them are. So there's money's not coming in there. All those things. And obviously all of that trickles down. So food prices are higher. That's been going on for quite a while. We're all seeing that when we go to the grocery store. And gosh forbid you try to eat healthy. It's really expensive.
Yeah. Surprise.
Right. Yeah. So, prices have just gotten exorbitant. Not all families can afford that. So then they're cutting. They have to cut in different places. They're trying to hold on to savings, so they're nervous. They're nervous about everything they spend. So does that affect real estate? Obviously.
Of course, it
affects real estate because people are afraid to let go of those funds that they have saved and move forward with what their real estate, what their home goals are, investment goals. Even though real estate is part of your investment portfolio, it could be a huge part of your investment portfolio. Sure. For some people, that's their only investment, but they're afraid to make any kind of change, they just want to stay secure, stay where they're at. Another aspect of it is people who are doing any kind of government-backed or government-insured financing. So you have FHA, VA, USDA, rural housing. There's a myriad of other ones. They're being held up, or they're in process, but it's much slower than it was. So say you have a closing date from the day you write the contract, 45 days from the day you write the contract to close. Well, they're having to extend that. So then that's changing things for all of the parties. So this party had a moving van schedule because they were planning to leave and they're planning to close on their other house somewhere else. Well, now they're held up, but maybe they need to start a job somewhere else. So they have no choice but to go. So now they don't have the funds from the house they're selling. So now they got to scramble and look at maybe getting a bridge loan. It's complicating things. And this does nothing to help people's attitudes.
No, it does not. It does not help.
So it's a lot. And they're typically going to their realtor looking for answers. Well, I wish I could control all those things. Yet again, if I could control everything, I would no longer be here. I would be enjoying my life because I would have made so much money. You know? So that's just not the reality of things. The realtor, me, is the person that's the one person that they can vent to. So you just got to kind of let them vent. But anyway, so it's definitely having an effect. We're definitely seeing it here.
Sure.
Hopefully it's going to be over soon. I get frustrated every morning. I actually don't listen to that much of the news. I actually started during COVID. I actually stopped listening to the news in the morning because I just couldn't. It was depressing enough being stuck in my house all day. It just mentally was like too much for me.
Telling
I was like,
you how bad it is
all you hear is
walls.
negative.
Well, that's never going to change.
Right. But it just seems worse now. Maybe it's just my perception. It just seems worse. So anyway, it's just I listen to it in the morning and I'm grumbling to myself, if they would go to work and get this done and put their egos aside, we would actually get something done. But whatever it is what it is.
When do we announce that you're going to run for president of the United States? Lise Barrick.
If there's one thing that is of zero interest to me, it's politics or ever running for any office, holding an office.
Well,
no,
regardless,
no.
You got my vote.
Oh, yeah. So the thing with the interest rates, though, so things are going to sit for a little bit until the government gets its act together and opens back up. Now, that being said, the Federal Reserve probably already knows what the numbers are going to be. And that is the federal government does not unilaterally decide what their interest rates are going to be. Right. There's a whole bunch of other
There's a system
entities,
to it and
markets,
and,
investors in our country, etc. There's a whole big system that I do not have the expertise to explain. I could bring in one of my good lender friends and they could explain it to you. But the decisions may have already been made. They may, but they're going to hold off for a while.
Yeah.
So,
from what I heard,
they probably will, but they're not going to go, just FYI, everybody, they're not going to drop from 6.5 to 3.5.
Just an FYI.
Quarter of a point maybe, which if you do the math, doesn't really save you all that much money. It saves you some, but.
So the answer to the question, just wait and see. The market is hurting right now, but it's hurting everywhere. And
Just, I mean, things are still selling. It's just slow. And this time of year is also a little bit slower. It's a cyclical thing. It happens every single year. I don't panic because it's been happening every year of my 32 years
Ain't
in
your
real
first
estate.
rodeo.
Exactly right.
Now, so the next question comes in, which is interesting, is what do you say to buyers who have the financial ability to purchase right now, but they might be holding off, waiting for those interest rates to drop? They just buy it because
this is the thing. Okay, say you're going to be, you're going to be financing $200,000. The rates are 6.5% around, depending where you go. Excuse me. Right now, say they drop to, they drop 0.25%, whatever. On a $200,000 loan, you're going to save like $30 a month by that change. Now, is that $30 is $30? Okay, I get it. Over a year, that's what, a little less than $400. Then people say to me, but over 30 years, you ain't going to have that mortgage for 30 years. The average life of a loan is like 5 to 7 years. You either move or you refinance.
Right. Or
you hit the lottery and you pay it off, So you're not going to have that loan for all that time. So if there's a house out there that you really want, and you keep clicking on it, you keep looking at it, you've already looked at it, you've already walked through it, whatever, and you're like, I just love that house. Oh, I hope it doesn't sell. Just buy it because it's gonna sell. Somebody else. So is it worth it to you to lose it over a $400 savings? Okay, if it's a $300,000 mortgage, not a $300,000 house, that's almost around a $400,000 house. So you lose it over $700 a year. Is that really worth it to you? That's not worth it to me. I'll take the house, you know? And by the way, you're getting a mortgage interest deduction at the end of the year. So just buy the house. And the other thing is, well, you know, we're going to wait. Guess what? Guess how many other buyers are sitting there waiting? So when those rates drop, you have all this competition. And get that the price of that house, it's going to cost you a lot more. It could cost you 30% more to wait.
Yeah, in the long run.
Because now you're going to pay, so you're going to have all that money out of pocket because now you have to put up more cash if you don't want to finance more. So in the end, it does not make any financial sense to wait. You know, now if there's no house out there that you really want, well, that's a whole different story. It doesn't matter what the rates are.
That's a whole other question. Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter what the rates are.
Yeah, but if you like a house and you have the money, just buy it.
Exactly. So I mean, that's my feeling on the matter.
Lisa, do you feel that people like you? Do you feel that people like you?
Oh my gosh,
that might be a question for therapy. And I'm no therapist.
Yeah, really. Are there any tissues here?
I don't have a couch for you to lay on. I know personally a lot of people that do like you, and I think your answer should be yes. You should believe people like you.
I mean,
you are in the industry for people to like you.
I just can't wait to see the TikTok comments on this question because some of those people.
This one though.
Yeah, exactly.
But the question.
I don't know. Overall, there's definitely people that don't like me, and there's a possibility it's mutual.
But you got a thick skin.
Yeah, for the most part. For the most part.
Same
I'm
here.
geting better with age.
Yeah.
You know, that I'm like, you know, my circles become smaller and smaller and smaller, you know. Why are we asking that question?
So the next question is that some people just don't like real estate agents.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, the question comes in and says whether it's a matter of principle or perception.
Yeah.
Given the uncertainty in the economy right now, are you seeing more people trying to go that route and avoid paying commissions?
Oh, like for sale by owner?
Yeah.
Like selling it themselves?
Or the question goes on to say, or are folks turning more to professionals for their expertise in a tougher market? So it's not, I guess it's not like people like you. Do people like real estate agents? You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole, I know we're money grubbing, liars, thieves, you know, boo, you know.
Multi-billionaires.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that too. I just work 14-hour days for fun.
Yeah.
You know. No, actually, I have not seen. I actually have not been seeing many for sale by owners. I mean, there's always a few.
There's a handful out there.
Yeah, there's always a few.
And I laugh at it.
I do think that people probably depend on some expertise. You also have those people that depend on your expertise and then go do it for sale by owner anyway. So they get all the information and then they're like, sorry, I just had a guy who I've been working with for 3 years, getting him prepared to sell his house and get everything set up, and it's been long. And he just contacted me like a week ago and said, "Update all my numbers for me, please." And it's that I think I have a plan and everything. And then he called me like Monday and he said, "Yeah, I think I'm not going to list. I think I'm just going to try to sell it myself." And I was like, bang, bang, bang. But, you know, what are you going to do? I was like, okay, moving on. I got other stuff to do, you know.
Yeah.
So, good luck. I think people tend to, especially when things are kind of unstable in the economy and people are a little bit frightened. I think they depend on a little bit more expertise. Maybe they're just because they're looking for some grounding.
Yeah.
And, you know, I hear all this, but what's it actually like here, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So I think they do. I think, you know, what we saw the last couple of years because houses were turning over so quickly because of low inventory and that more people tried to sell themselves. And some of them started that way and then quickly turned to realtors. I've had other people who have told me that they did end up closing a transaction, doing it themselves, and they told me they will never do it again.
Really?
They will never do it again.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what they're doing.
No,
The whole process. Nobody understands, and I know I go over this every time, but nobody understands it's not just a matter of sticking a sign in the yard, taking a couple of pretty pictures, signing a contract, and then getting your money. There's all kinds of pitfalls. There's all kinds of contingencies along the way. So they don't get that. And then they're like, wow, this is a lot of work while they're trying to work their own job. So,
the easiest solution is just to go with you.
Right? I mean, specifically me.
Well, sure, but it is the easiest.
I think so. I wouldn't want to.
I don't know.
I wouldn't want to handle
no.
my own real estate transaction.
But what do I know? It's my house, and I can do what I want. Not one person going to take a penny of my money.
Well, right, yeah, and you're going to sell for less, and whatever. Not always.
Always. Question number 4.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about a specific segment of the market. This is fun. Those in the older, more senior demographic. Is your approach to counseling them any different than how you might work with like younger buyers or sellers?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to, by defining senior, I'm going to guess that we're talking about more senior than me.
Yes.
Because I'm kind of senior. I'm getting there.
You're not that.
I'm getting there.
But,
no, but like,
some
people
of
that are like in their 80s,
or
75,
sure.
like
Sure.
that kind of age. The answer is yes. I work with them much differently. Now I'm the same person, no matter what. Let's not get it twisted. I have the same morals and ethics and everything else, and I do the same job. But my conversations with them are different. I definitely take more time with them if that's what they need and want. There's still people who are in their 80s and they are just as savvy as they were.
If not more.
You know, exactly. But often I get into situations that are very emotional situations. Sure. This isn't always necessarily a move that say it's a couple that both parties really want to make. I just had one this year where they were going into a really nice, community. Mm-hmm. She was very excited because she was just exhausted and it was too much dealing with everything and medical things in the house and everything. He was very depressed about it, didn't want to go. So when I go into that home, I'm going to be real careful about it. And most of the time, I should say, most of the time I'm dealing with sellers. So I'm going to go into that home and I'm going to be real careful about the things I say. So I'm going to be real careful about the suggestions I make. One of the episodes prior, I talked all about how, when I go in and counsel a seller that I want them to do. Put all this stuff away, that clean up, paint, let's update this carpet. It's been here since 1972, that kind of thing. I'm going to be a little bit more careful with my older buyer that may be having a really difficult time leaving that home.
Yeah.
That might be the carpet that their little girl picked out, when she was 7 and now she's 40, and it's sentimental to her, even though it looks terrible.
Yeah. But not to them.
Yeah. Or
so I understand
even with putting things away, like there are things that they'll go through and show me things in their house that are sentimental and tell me stories. And, I also need to be cognizant of, I need to schedule extra time to meet with them. Because often there are a lot of stories and I have to keep trying to circle back to on topic, but I need to be respectful of them and what they're going through. The other thing is I'm also often dealing with family members. I'm dealing with their children. Maybe I'm dealing with their siblings, whoever. And it's very emotional for them. And I was one of those children. I went home to Jersey and helped, it was time my mother had fallen and broken her hip and she could no longer live in her home. And, this was a woman who had been fiercely independent all her life. And here she was in her mid-80s. And in a heartbeat, she could no longer live in her home. And we had to find a assisted living facility for her. And she did not like it.
No.
She was not happy. Not happy at all. So it was hard. It was really hard. And, the home that we were selling wasn't the home I grew up in or anything. It was a townhouse that she had eventually, bought. So the property itself wasn't sentimental to me. The situation was sentimental and very emotional to me.
Right.
And cleaning out her things for her. She wasn't capable of doing that. So a couple of my siblings and I had to do that. And you're digging up stuff that's,
for sure.
That's emotional.
Yep.
And it's a process. There's a lot of crying, a lot of upset.
Yeah.
So, when I met with the realtor, fortunately, he lived in the same neighborhood, so she knew my mom, and there was care there. And that meant a lot to me. And I said to her, I can't be here. I'm in Pennsylvania. I need to trust that you're going to take care of her home. And even from a security standpoint, I needed to make sure that she was going to make sure it was always locked up and taken care of and that kind of thing. But I needed her to be sensitive to my mom's needs and also respectful of her. Like at that point, she was having a hard time writing and signing, but I didn't sign those contracts. She signed all those contracts and did it real slowly. And you have to be patient. And I just keep that in mind when I'm doing this kind of stuff.
Right.
Like you just have to be patient and you have to be respectful and you need to talk to that person. So if their kid is sitting there and having a lot of input and asking questions and stuff, you certainly address them and answer their questions, but you always redirect it back to the individual who owns this home.
Yes.
Because they're the most important person in the room.
Yes.
They really are.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's tricky. Just to get more
I
time.
never give you a short answer.
But that's the perfect answer. I think that's what people are looking for.
But it's true. It actually makes me like a little emotional going back to that time and remembering. That's because it's hard. It's hard to see your parents
I get it.
or it's not always your parent. It's an uncle. It's a whoever. It's a close family friend.
Right.
It's somebody you love.
Right.
And it can be very hard. So
that's why your job isn't easy. It's not an easy job.
Yeah. I mean,
But it's rewarding at times.
There's a part of me though that loves that because I know I do care so much that I know I'm doing the best I can for that person and I'm just I don't know. I know I'm going to take care of them. So I guess there's kind of like a good feeling you get out of that. Not a prideful feeling or anything, but just something like you're helping somebody, and that's always a good feeling. If
that's
you're
really at the end of the
somebody
day
else.
what your job is to do, solve people's problems.
Yeah.
Really.
Yep.
We'll get to the last question here in a second, but this is Selling Susquehanna with Lise Barrick. I'm Chad, BFFs for a long time.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but it's like every day I'm getting scammed on like a text message, email.
I'm so tired
any platform.
of it. I'm so tired of it.
Is it infiltrating the real estate?
Oh, for sure.
For buyers and sellers? That was the last question, and I thought that was a really good one.
Oh, for sure.
In what ways doing
I'm
that?
getting to the point now I'm toying with them. Well, I mean, we all get the spam calls and everything, which has significantly increased. Is everybody noticing that?
Significantly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably get 10 a day and I keep blocking them and blocking them and blocking them. Doesn't matter. Apparently my loan that's anywhere from $58,000 to $63,000 is ready for me to cash in at any moment. Those people keep calling me. And I finally answered one and tried to argue with the lady and she didn't miss a beat. I think it was AI.
Could be.
Yeah, so I keep
Could be a
blocking
robot,
them, and they keep calling. They must have 80 million numbers to call you from. So, but the
Are
thing
you
that
the owner of the
directly-
business? Yeah.
Yeah, oh, God. But the thing that directly affects real estate is there's lots of people who are contacting us through all of our various platforms. I mean, they're coming through Realtor.com, they're coming through Zillow, they're coming, and they tell us all the time. They try to assure us that they're have steps in place to block that, but I don't think they can. So they're trying to look at houses, allegedly. There's some also that are trying to list properties that don't belong to them. And they get all the data from the courthouse and they say, I live out of state and I want to list this property, and that and it sounds very believable for a while there until you ask for some kind of like actual concrete identification, or they don't want to talk to you on the phone. It's always, my situation is I'm overseas and I can't talk on the phone. Hello, I've been overseas. I could talk on the phone. But the buyer ones are really kind of funny.
Yeah. Because
every single one of them contacts and says, I noticed that, and they give you all kinds of complimentary blah, blah, blah about, I noticed, your resume and how wonderful you are. And I'm in the market to buy a $5 million home. And it's always that, like 3 to 5 million, 5 to 10 million, whatever. And I'm like, where am I? Am I in the central Susquehanna Valley?
Your day has been made. I have $5 million.
I will find it for you. I might sell you a whole block of homes. But anyway, so right away you're like, oh my gosh. And they will persist. And, they asking you all kinds of questions, and they're trying to set up, some of them are like, they're trying to set up Zoom meetings, which I'm like, why? I'm not going to do that. But because they just want me to send them things, and when can we schedule to meet? And where do I'll say, like, where do you live? In the area. The last guy I had was a week ago on a Sunday. And he started, I knew I was, well, first of all, you have to be really careful because every now and then it could be somebody legitimate. And, we also get shopped by the real estate commission to check to make sure we're abiding by fair housing rules and stuff like that. And,
secret shoppers.
And other rules according with agency and stuff like that. So you have to be a little careful, like right at first, unless it's so outrageous that it's a scam. So, I'll start asking like meaningful questions, where do you live? Is this going to be cash or finance? Do you have proof of funds?
Is this a scam?
Is this a scam? So, but the last guy I just started, I said, well, where do you live? In the area. I said, yes, I'm sure. Or you sure do. At the end, I said to him, he said, well, which of these houses can we meet at? And I said, how about you give me your address? And I said, for my elite clients, I like to send a driver. So I'll have my driver pick you up. And I never heard that.
That was brilliant.
It's just
that was brilliant.
I think that I pulled that out of Seema from and just like that, if you're a Sex and the City fan, she had a driver or whatever. I was like,
that was brilliant, though.
But anyway, I mean, but it doesn't
infiltrate the
and
industry.
I just understand. We always talk about it in my office because we kind of show each other, whatever. Or they've overheard like conversations I have on the phone. Oh, one guy, this is the best one. He wanted a property in view of the ocean.
Oh.
But he wanted it in Central P. He picked out a couple counties, I think, on a map, and he was like, Union, Montour, whatever. And then he said, well, I particularly like...
It must overlook the white beaches of Montour County.
Yes. He said, I particularly like something that's in view of the ocean. And I said, well, dude, you're going to have a long drive. Yeah. I was dying. And a couple of agents are like in the neighboring office and they hear me on the phone and they are busting out laughing. And I was like, but this is what I don't get. Like, to what end? Like, I don't understand why they do it. Well, I think what they're trying to do is somehow down the road, they think they're going to get financial information from, I don't know if it's from my information or a seller's information, or they're getting something. And, sometimes it freaks me out because I don't understand all the.
It's a lot of work.
All that. Yeah.
It just seems like it's a lot of work.
I know. But they're never going to get into a house. I mean, they're never going to take over control of a house. That's never going to happen. No. There's all kinds of, IRS things that need to occur, identifications, driver's license, background checks. All of that is part of a closing. So I don't get it. It's annoying though. It wastes your time, but.
So scams exist in the real estate world.
Oh my God.
Go figure.
But there's other areas where there's been things that are really bad.
And it's just going to get worse.
And I think they're trying to get like a seller's information somehow. They're trying to get or whatever. And I don't know. Like you're going to call me up as a buyer and I'm going to be like, well, hang on. Let me get you the seller's social security number.
Yeah.
And I'll be right
1 minute. Right.
I don't get it. But if they would just parlay these skills into an actual real job, we might be able to cure cancer.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm just happy no one's coming after me because I'm broke.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they could solve the government shutdown.
Boy, that would be something. Can't we just type that into ChatGPT and that will solve it?
Exactly.
Well, we continue to Selling Susquehanna with Lise Barrick. Enjoy your quarter. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
To you and your family.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
And look forward to doing it again next time. If you have any questions, please submit them to Lisa through Facebook or Instagram. We would love to hear from you, and she will answer any question that you might have regarding real estate. Got it? All right, Lisa, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Fun
Thank
as
you.
Always.